A sponge is the simplest of all multicellular life. Multicellular just means that the life has more than one cell. So sponges are among the simplest life of all of life. A sponge is so simple that it has no mouth, muscles, heart, or brain. It cannot move. Most sponges live in water and filter the water for food. Even though they are so simple, there are over 10,000 different species of sponges. Even though a sponge is such a simple life form, it is still so complex that we cannot understand it. There are specific structures that allow it do specific functions. The sizes of the parts are so perfect that it allows the nutrients in and waste to leave. There are 4 different types of cells, and all of these multiple cells have to work in a coordinated way. The level of coordination of even the simplest life form defies our ability to understand it at the DNA level. Evolutionists have studied the DNA of even this most basic life form but cannot explain what they find. One example of this was published in the journal Bioessays with a report investigating how environmental factors influence life cycles and development of sponges. Here we are told the detailed molecular logic remain elusive of the sponge. The words molecular logic is talking about the DNA, and this is elusive, which means it is hard to comprehend or define. Basically, they have absolutely no idea. The coordination of the sponge is not only for the life of the sponge, but amazingly is also coordinated into the life of the environment. The life of coral reefs are dependent on sponges. An example of this was reported in the Public Library of Science article, Reduced Diversity and High Sponge Abundance on a Sedimented Indo-Pacific Reef System, Implications for Future Changes in Environmental Quality. Indeed, the health of sponges has been reported to affect overall reef ecosystem. The coral reefs, which support a vast amount of life on the planet, are actually dependent on the health of even the simplest of all multicellular organisms. This is truly amazing. It is all interconnected. Without sponges, there is no reef, and without the coral reefs, we would not have the most diverse ecosystems on the planet. This is an example of what is called symbiosis, where the health of each is dependent on the health of the other. But we cannot understand the whole of the reef without being able to understand the simplest component of the reef, which is also the simplest of all of multicellular life on Earth, which is the sponge. If we do not understand the details of the DNA of a sponge by now, we will never be able to explain human DNA as a result of evolution. Understanding the DNA of a sponge is a necessary condition for evolution to be true. However, it is a published fact in peer-reviewed scientific journals that the details of the DNA of a sponge is not understood. You do not need to have more than one cell to soak up the fact that if the DNA of a sponge could not develop through evolution, then evolution logically cannot be possible.